Hey everyone, welcome to the Goofy Guy podcast. This is Disney news for August 22nd, 2021. It's episode 133. And I am Jim Spangler, your host, the Goofy Guy. And that lovely face next to me, or that you're about to hear, is my dear friend, Mandy Corral. How you doing, Mandy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Now you're getting ready to go to Disney.
I am. Yes, I leave the day after tomorrow. I leave on Tuesday. I can't wait.
Oh, I can't. I'm so jealous. I can't even imagine.
The excitement is real. It's also, and again, it feels like it's not real. Like it feels like it's not going to happen too. It feels like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm actually going to Disney World in 2 days. Like there's no way that's happening. But I'll do it once I get. And luckily I have managed to book a trip before the Magical Express disappears.
Right.
So I'll actually get to take the Magical Express. So I was like, once I'm on the Magical Express, like that, when I know, like that's when the trip starts. When I'm there.
Right.
I'm really sad that's not gonna be a thing, but
that's right.
So that's
we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. So we have a couple of hot button topics tonight. So it'll be interesting.
It was a big week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we have to say about these things. And just so y'all know, we haven't talked about this beforehand. So neither of us really knows what the other thinks, even though I think we know what the other thinks.
Right.
You know, we'll see. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get right to it? Why don't we get right to the news?
Let's do it.
All right. So something happened this week that made me so happy. I love this place. Big Top Souvenirs has reopened. Yay!
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Mandy? Do you know what Big Top Souvenirs is? Yeah. I think it's the best souvenir store in the park. I think it's the best one in the park because you can get anything there.
And it's kind of it's one of those that not a lot of people realize is as good as it is. So you don't feel like you're like when you go in the Emporium and with mouth gears and stuff, you always feel like it's like, oh guys, I'm so stressed. I have to grab my stuff and I have to get out. But
I know, and it's all those hot sticky bodies that you're like, oh.
Yes. Exactly. I feel like I always get to like shop around for a little longer and enjoy it while I'm in there.
It's true. And they don't have everything that the Emporium has, but they do have the candy in the center. And you can get the candy apples.
Yes.
So,
oh my God.
So there are benefits. So I'm really excited. Sure. I'm really excited. That also means things are just continually moving back to normalcy, right? I am a little concerned with, this Delta variation, the Delta variant out there. And, Disney has been changing their mask policy almost daily. So, so be sure that you look it up before you go, Mandy, but also anybody else that's going, make sure you check it out. Just go to the website. Right. It'll tell you right there. And because you just never know. You just don't know.
The most recent update I think that I've heard is that they no longer are requiring you to wear your mask in outdoor queues or in any, so if you're outside and you're in a line, you don't have to wear it. But as soon as you get inside, you have to put it on. So they're kind of adjusting it a little bit.
Yeah, they're tweaking it. Yeah, tweaking it. Yeah, that's the last that I heard too. So we're both on the same page there. So but Big Top Souvenirs opening. If people listening have never been there, you need to go. It is such a great place. It's back by the circus area between Fantasyland and Circus. It is so good. So good. Boma. Have you ever been to Boma? Have you eaten at Boma?
I have never been. I've watched videos and reviews, but I've never been there.
So good. So Boma is at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It is a buffet, and it is all sorts of African dishes. So good. It's great for vegans, vegetarians, meat eaters. It's good for everyone. And it's so delicious. Even my daughter, whose favorite food is brown, anything that's like brown, right? Chicken nuggets.
Just the color.
Hot pockets, any of those kind of things. Brown and tan. Even she found things that she liked there and ate when she ate there. She liked it too. So it's important. And why this is important is that Boma is a buffet. It is the first buffet on property, the first true buffet on property to open. And more are following. I know Crystal Palace is about to reopen and others are beginning to follow. So that's good. That also is good. And it means they're kind of trying to get back to normal.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be a like self-serve buffet like it used to be, or if it'll be like the buffet situation where you walk up and you have a cast member like standing behind and handing it to you. I feel like that's probably more.
It's actually, and Boma's actually kind of a combination of both. So just naturally, it's a combination of both.
It already is. Okay.
Yeah, it already is a kind of a combination. And so I think that's part of the reason they were probably comfortable opening it up, because they knew they had some control over it. It'll be interesting to see if they've taken more control over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I buffets make me nervous anyway. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm like, oh my God, people are breathing on it.
Oh, I have seen the grossest stuff at buffets. I have literally seen someone with their own plate, with their own utensil, reach in with the spoon that they have been using to eat and like serve themselves.
Oh my God.
I have seen people reach into the serving spoon and taste the food from the serving spoon and then put it back in the tray. Like,
that's the most horrible thing I've ever heard.
I'm not kidding, Jim. I'm not kidding. I have seen that happen.
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't do buffets well. I never have. No. I just don't do them well. You know,
it was always something. My grandparents don't speak English very well. They're from Italy, and so that was always something that was easy for them because they could just go, they pay like a flat rate, and then they could just serve themselves. They don't have to worry about talking to a server or anything.
Right.
So I did a lot of buffets growing up. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've seen some very nasty stuff, because I've just been to a lot of them.
Yeah. And I've been to a lot of buffets, but as I've gotten older, I just go to fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer. Like I would go to Boma because Disney is on top of it all the time. There's always somebody behind there working. There's,
different.
It's a little different, but my thing is people are sneezing and coughing and talking and spitting and just like, so that's the germaphobe in me that is just completely thrown off by that. But it is excited that it's coming. It is excited that buffets are coming back because I know there are people that really love buffets. So that's an important part of the Disney thing. So that's good.
Yes. Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. I know people love the Crystal Palace. It's a terrible place for me. It's a vegetarian's nightmare. But
I just loved it because when I was little, that was where we saw like Winnie the Pooh. Like that's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't remember the food at all. All I remember is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
Well, it's not that the food's not that memorable.
Right.
Let's be real. Right. It's not that memorable. Right. So, it's very mediocre food, even for Disney standards. It's very mediocre food. But I know people that love it. So no judgment there. If you love it, that's okay. Yeah. It's just not for me. But I do love Pooh, and I love Eeyore.
Yeah.
Love me some Eeyore. I feel you, Eeyore. I feel you. So, speaking of the Magic Kingdom, let's talk about the holiday party. Shall we?
Yeah.
Yes. This is the first controversial thing we're going to talk about. So the price for the party, the holiday party at the Magic Kingdom has come out. The price for tickets. Now, let's clarify this and tell you that the party is only 4 hours. It is no longer like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It is not the same. They are not going to have the same. You don't have all the same benefits. You can't come early. It doesn't stay open till late. So let's just lay that out there. It is not the same party. Yeah. It's 4 hours. And
very trimmed down.
Very trimmed down. Yeah, very trimmed down. And they upped the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if you want a ticket to this, it's $165 up to $250 per person. $250. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to say, I know Mandy's just like, I don't even know what to say. I'm going to say, why would you do it? That's exactly right. You pay less money and you can show up at 8 a.m. and stay until at least 6 p.m. and get more time to do stuff. Now, I know there are people out there that are, yeah, but there are fewer people there. They're blah, 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 blah. Well, if you have been to one of those parties recently, there are not fewer people there. I'm sorry. It does not feel like there are fewer people there. They have been filling that up. Yeah, it's a zoo.
Well, and it feels like you're fighting for, like, it's a situation where you feel like you're paying for perks. It has become a situation where you're fighting for those perks. Like, because there's so many people, you're like, I feel like I could have done this without paying the extra money.
That's
especially now that it's shorter. And I mean, I get it. There's like special food, special events, special things like that you're not going to get.
And don't get me wrong. If I were going down there while this was going on, I would buy a ticket for me. Sure. But that's for me. And that is part of my business. It's part of what I do. And it's only me, and I can afford to do that. If I was taking a family of 4, I am not sure I'd want to pay $165 for my 5-year-old to go to that party.
I know. And it just feels like when I was little, I remember it being so different than any other thing I'd ever done in Disney. Right? It was like the snowing on Main Street, and we got like hot cocoa and cookies. And I remember there was one, and it feels like it was just like a magical dream now. But I vividly recall walking like up to the castle, and all of the princesses were like lined up with carriages and their winter clothes, like their winter dresses.
Oh, I bet that was warm. Oh my God.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh. I mean, we were there at the end of November, early December. But still, I just remember being like, I was like, this is the best moment of my life. This is it. I'm 7 years old and I've peaked here.
This is the peak. I've reached the pinnacle.
This will never get better. It will never get better.
It'll never get better than this. And what you didn't know was that you were right.
Like literally.
It's never gotten better. That was it. Hi, Steve. Love you.
He's not here. He's at work.
Oh, there you go. So he doesn't. Yeah. Well, there you go. He probably would actually.
I mean, you can't capture that. That's a very specific brand of magic.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
Ever again. But it's okay.
Nope.
Because my point here is that is not what that party is anymore.
It's not.
I feel like that's not those moments that specific sort of special, like over the top, like
right. And when you were there, also there were fewer people at the party. They were selling fewer tickets, so
way less. It felt empty. I remember walking around and being like, "This we have a whole park to ourselves."
That's exactly right. The first times I went to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, I felt that way too. I felt like the park was just empty. You had it all to yourself. You walked right on to Haunted Mansion. You walked right on to Space Mountain. And now that's just not the case. Now the lines aren't forever long. I mean, you might have to wait 20 minutes, but it just feels different, right? It just really feels different. So, that's the way it goes.
Situation with the Boo Bash that's happening right now, it's very similar, where it's more expensive for less time. And I've been watching, just some reviews of people that have visited or have done the party, and they're saying, like the lines are still like, especially for like Haunted Mansion, people are waiting like an hour 15 to get on Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, no, thank you. I wouldn't wait for that. An hour and 15 for Haunted Mansion on a regular day.
Typically, yeah. We don't have to.
No,
there's no need to. That ride doesn't. It's an omni mover. It should never be that long of a
That's exactly right. But we're going to get to that point. We're going to get to that point when we talk about something else. But anyway, just be prepared if you're planning on doing that. It's going to be a beast. So expensive, just expensive. So let's talk about so we talked a little bit before the show started about you're going there and you're taking Magical Express from the airport to Disney, but on January 1st, that ends. So, I want to very briefly talk about your options for that, for people that are planning and want to go.
For sure.
So you can take Mears is offering their shuttle service again. That is probably your most economic way of going. It's $36 each way, which is not bad. That is less than you'll pay with an Uber or a taxi. Yeah, it's not bad. It's what it was before. It surprised me that that's what they set it at, because before Magical Express came, that's how much it cost to go with Mears. So, and with Mears also, you have other options. You can get just a van for just your party. You can take one of their big buses. You can, there's some different options to take there. But so that's one. So you can take a Mears shuttle. You can Uber or Lyft. That's two. That will cost you about $50. And that's not round trip, ladies and gentlemen. That's just one way. So there is a convenience factor there. I understand they take you straight to your resort, but you're also paying a little bit more money for it. And then you can take a taxi, and that's the most expensive way to do it. The taxi will cost you about $72 one way. So and since Magical Express is ending, that may even go up, right? Because they know people need to get there.
The demand's going to go up.
Yeah. So really, my opinion is the best way to go is to go Mears shuttle. I just think that's the best way. And that's who's doing Magical Express anyway, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah,
they're the ones already doing it. Yeah, they're already doing it. Disney pays them to do it. So I just think that's the smart way. And I'm going to make a separate video specifically about that, to talk about each option, what the benefits, the good, the bad, all of that, to getting there. And of course, you can always rent a car, right? You can always rent a car. Which may end up being my way of doing it from now on. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Depends if I want to drive around or not. Yeah. And you do have to pay for the parking at a resort if you're going to do that. So you have to add that into your, somewhere between $15 to $25, depending on where you're staying each night to park your car. So, kind of have to factor all that in, and I'm going to talk about all that on a different video. So that will be coming up very soon. Since people are just starting to now kind of talk about it and get it out there. So do you have any ideas about that? Do you have any thoughts?
Basically just kind of, all right, it is what it is. Now we got to pay for, for transportation.
It's true. It's true. It is what it is. It is so true.
I do think that Mears is the best way to go. Honestly, it does make me a little sad. Like, you're going to miss the getting on the Magical Express and seeing like the cheesy, intro video in the back of the other seat, and like all that stuff is going to be gone, but it's okay. I'm glad I'm going to get to ride it once before it goes away. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. And if you're going before the end of 2021, don't panic, because it's going to be there still. So it's not until January 1st that goes away. Speaking of going away, so the NBA experience closed during this whole COVID thing, right? Remember the NBA experiences in Disney Springs. It was the big thing that the NBA did, this big, huge building. They took Disney Quest, gutted it. Actually, I think they tore it down, didn't they? They tore it down and then built this big facility, this NBA experience, where you can go in and experience NBA things. You can play basketball and shoot and all this other stuff. It's not reopening. It's closed for good.
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I thought it was a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. Who? Okay,
I don't know a single person that did it. I don't know a single person.
I don't either.
Ever did it. Ever.
No, Disney Quest, they could have spent the money that they spent on that NBA experience, updated Disney Quest, and had an amazing experience at Disney Quest.
Tragic.
It's tragic.
I went to Disney Quest as a child in Chicago, and it was awesome. I remember thinking it was the coolest thing in the world, and I was so happy that it was so cool.
Yeah, it was. You're actually one of like the 10 people in Chicago that actually went.
I know, because my family. Oh my God, are you kidding me? My family was the biggest Disney crazed family. Of course, we were going to go. And my mom would have kept going back. We would have kept going back just to get the Disney fix.
Absolutely, it's a way to get the Disney fix. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and I was like kind of happy that they kept it like preserved in this little pocket, you know, when it was downtown Disney. I was like, you know, they never updated it. It's still the same, like late 90s, early 2000s technology, but like, bless them, it's
but
still
they could have
there.
updated that, right? They could have kept some of the old stuff and then updated it and spent
I don't know
less
why they
money
didn't.
and not now have this big
so cool
building that they don't know what to do with. So
and the thing that doesn't make sense to me was like the main reason why it tanked, right, is because it was not sustainable, because the whole point of it was that the technology was, you know, it was new, it was innovative, it was like showcasing Disney innovations in like a smaller space. But they couldn't keep up with the innovations because they were happening too quickly. And I feel like that was that time, like early 2000s, you know, late 90s, like that's when everything was like skyrocketing, right? With the internet and things were moving so quickly. I feel like things have leveled off a little bit more now, where like they have the capacity to sort of figure out how to make things more sustainable than they did back then.
Yeah, that's right.
They just kind of gave up on it.
They just gave up on it. It's very sad. It's very sad. All right, let's move on, because like I said, I don't even know why the NBA experience was ever even there. So you'll be happy to hear this. Rise of the Resistance recently has had a few days where people have been able to join the standby queue without being a part of a boarding group.
I did hear this.
It's happened a few days this last week. I know it specifically happened on August 15th, and I know it happened 2 other days. And that you can get a boarding group later in the day, even if all of them fill up and then they don't let standbys. The boarding groups are available throughout the day.
Yeah.
So that is, it's getting easier to get the afternoon boarding groups.
Yeah.
So that's really, and part of that is that the crowds are down right now. It's kind of a low time for them. I think it's because everybody's waiting for the 50th anniversary, right? Everybody's coming for the 50th.
When we did. That's why I booked this trip when I did.
Yeah, that was smart. That was smart. She was smart, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally smart. And, but so if you're going and Mandy is going and you don't get a boarding group, don't freak out. Try again in the afternoon, because you probably will get one, or see if they just open it up. You know, because that's happening. That's happening now. I think it's probably because it's running more consistently, and so they're able to get more people through. But we're going to talk about that a little later. All right. I'm skipping the next item. If you're looking at the script, I'm just letting you know that I'm skipping the next item. We'll come back to it. It. All right. I love this. So they've been adding those points of light to the spaceship Earth, right?
Yes.
So Zach Ridley finally gave us some pictures of it on Instagram, and this is my favorite picture.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I know. And they could do so much with it. They have so many possibilities. I've also seen a picture of it where it was the white light, and it makes everything look like stars. It is so cool. It is so cool. I know.
I'm gonna cry so hard. Everything's gonna make me cry on this trip. Everything. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready.
You need to emotionally steel yourself.
I do, though.
No, just cry away. Who cares? It's happy tears. Cry away.
I bought my waterproof makeup. I'm good to go. I prepared.
Yeah. Just get lots of those little packets of Kleenex, and you're good.
Yep, got those. Yep,
yeah, you're all good. So I do like this, though. I do think that it is a beautiful look. If you go to Zach Ridley's Instagram, he has several pictures of this, so you can see it in several versions, and it just looks really good. Just beautiful. We knew it was going to be cool, but I don't think we had any idea that it would be this gorgeous.
And I love, like you said, like how many opportunities they have with it. You know, it's so versatile. They can just do so many cool things.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so cool. So I'm really excited. I don't know when they intend to bring that on line full time, but it's soon, obviously. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be very good. Okay, so everybody that listens to this knows that I have an issue with the gondola system, and this, the Skyway, and it's based on the fact that I have a fear of heights, and also that it tends to wreck, and it has wrecked a few times over this time. Now, Julie has often said to me, but what about the monorail? The monorail breaks down all the time. What about the monorail? And that's high up, and all of that. So this last week, two monorails lost power. They didn't just stop running. They lost power. Yeah. The orange monorail lost power on the loop with the resort loop, and the silver monorail lost power on the Epcot line. Now, let me explain why it's important that we say it lost power. Besides not moving anymore, right? Because if it loses power, it can't go. Also, the air conditioning stops.
That's my thought. That was the first thing I thought. As soon as you said it lost power, I'm like, oh my God. It's going to be sweltering in a metal tube with like hundreds of sweaty people.
It was 98. It was 9 when the orange line went down. It was 98 degrees. So my argument about the gondolas really has flown out the window.
I mean, that is a nightmare. They're already a little funky. Like they're a little funky as it is. Oh, imagine.
I don't want to imagine. At least on the gondola, you have little things underneath your seats with water bottles, right?
Right.
Oh, I can't imagine. Oh, I would lose it. Oh,
I'd
be fine for the first. Yeah, I'd be fine for like the first 5 minutes, and then I would start to lose it. I would and it takes a while to unload those. That is not a simple process. It takes a while to empty those out.
Did it just get power back?
I don't know.
Did they evacuate?
I don't. I'm sure they had to evacuate it because it was too hot. But power loss is different than it just breaking down, right? That's a whole other thing. So that's why, to me, it was significant, right? Because we could talk every week about a monorail breaking down.
Sure, breaking down
every week.
Sure, every
week. Yeah, but it's the loss of power that I was like, no. No, and the only way they can get you out, when it does that, the only way they can get you out is through the top. You have to go up through the top.
Oh my God, what a nightmare!
I would just curl up and cry.
I'd be like, you're gonna have to chopper me out.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to fly
drop it in. Yeah,
get one of those, like, it's the stretchers. Just
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, I mean, it's that would be bad. So I guess like I really can't complain anymore about the Skyway.
I'm looking forward to trying it because I'm at Caribbean Beach, right? So that one has the Skyliner, super close, very accessible. I've never ridden them, so I've never gotten the chance. So I definitely want to do it. Just to say I did it because it's something different.
Yeah, and people love it. People love it.
Yeah, it's so quick.
So quick.
And I've heard that it's not as bad as it was. Like when it first opened, it was like breaking down all the time, and it was super unreliable. But I've heard that it's
they've cleared up. They've cleared up a lot of that. Yeah. They've done a nice job, and I'll ride it next time I go down. I know I always say I won't, but. And I know Julie tried to get me to write it in March, and I wouldn't. But I will. I promise everybody I will actually write it. So I don't want anybody to think.
I'll give you a first-hand account.
Thank you very much. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Stress a little bit.
Yeah. Videotape yourself on it. Do like a selfie film on it, going, "Hey, I'm on it. It's fine." Blah blah blah. Perfect. And I'll post it up. I'll put it up. So
I love that. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll totally put it up. So yes, so. There you go. Monorail lost power twice. Yeah, there you go. All right. Let me hang on. I'm going to share screen here. Let's talk about our last controversial piece of news. Okay, so we've talked about this before on this podcast, and we all knew that this Genie was coming, right? It's an enhancement to the Disney Experience application. It's to help you plan your day, let you know what rides you should be riding, when it's a good time to go, and you can actually schedule times on it. I'm a little I'm at a little loss for this. We also have talked about the fact that in Disneyland Paris they're charging for individual fast passes for each ride that you get a fast pass for.
Yeah.
It's no longer called a fast pass. It's in Disneyland and Disney World. It's going to be called the Lightning Lane. Whatever. I think that's a bad name. But if you want to use Genie Plus, which is when you can schedule things and, get a few extra benefits, it's going to cost you $15 a day. So it's kind of like the Fast Pass, the Max Pass out in Disneyland, right? Mm-hmm. And you can kind of get Fast Passes one at a time for,
right.
You can pay a little bit extra and but if I understand it correctly, then you can book multiple Fast Passes at one time. I think like 2 or maybe 3. Mm-hmm. And then they said, this was the kicker. They said that some of the rides will have an extra charge to schedule a fast pass, a lightning lane.
This is the thing that got me. And I wasn't.
I agree. So we've gone from not paying for free, getting fast pass for free, to now at least $15 and probably more, right? Because I'm guessing the $15 fast passes you get are not the e-ticket rides.
Right. No. Why would they when they can make you pay more?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I saw a video online. Tom Corliss, who is the WDWNT.com, he owns it. He is WDWNT basically. And he went off about this, and he made some really good points. He said, because they came and they said, Josh D'Amara said it's going to make the guest experience a better experience because you won't have to wait in the long lines and you won't, this and that and the other. And so it'll improve your guest experience. And Tom's point was, I'm going to take this image off. But Tom's point was, this is your problem, Disney, because you're no longer building rides that can handle the capacity that they need to handle. Mm-hmm. You built Rise of the Resistance, and not everybody can ride Rise of the Resistance because you don't have the throughput on Rise of the Resistance that you should have for a park of that size, right? They're building all sorts of attractions that no longer have the throughput that the Haunted Mansion has, right? That Splash Mountain has, that Big Thunder Mountain has, that Space Mountain has. They're not building those attractions anymore. They're building attractions that have a lower throughput. They seem to think that 1,200 people an hour is okay.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not okay.
Acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
There's just no excuse for it, is what it is.
Nope.
That's the thing. It's like, we know that you're capable of better.
Totally.
We've seen that you're capable of better. And this is a new ride. I don't understand where the disconnect was.
That's right. And so I'm sure you're going to be able to pay for that experience. I'm sure you're going to be able to pay to get on Rise of the Resistance. Why would you have to pay? Why would you have to pay to assure yourself a place on Rise of the Resistance?
Aren't you already paying enough? Aren't you already paying enough?
Isn't that the point of the admission? Isn't that the point of admission?
Like, what are you paying for if you're not guaranteed to get on these rides? It's like, and I understand. I will wait in line if it's a crazy long wait. I understand. I'll wait in line for an hour and a half. I get it, but not get on at all unless I pay.
Right, which is what's happening, right?
The problem.
That's what's happening. Yeah, that's what's happening, and I am just go out and look for that video. It's a 5-minute video. He makes great points. And Tom Corliss, while I think he's kind of a curmudgeon a little bit, I like Tom because he knows what he's talking about. Like, he really knows his stuff and really knows what he's talking about. And I don't watch Tom a lot, but this was one I had to watch. I was like, I want to hear what Tom has to say about this. Just like I want to know what the Diz has to say about this. I want to hear those guys talk about it, right? I want to know, because those guys give honest opinions, right? Yeah. As much as I love Lou Mongello, he's not going to say anything bad about Genie Plus. He's just going to tell you the benefits of Genie Plus, right? Yeah. And so I want to know the real story behind it before I go and try it. And I've read all the documents about it that they've put out. It's a little unclear. Their email that came out and stuff is a little fuzzy. You can have a basic idea of what's happening, but there's some details that are left out. So the fact that they say they're doing this to improve guest satisfaction is bullshit. I'm just going to call it's bullshit.
It really is, because their biggest thing is this like straw man argument about how, well, we've gotten so much feedback from guests about how the fast passes just eliminate the spontaneity in your day and how people really like to just walk from ride to ride. So we're going to do this instead. It's like, okay, but is that the reason?
Yeah.
Like, you could have adjusted the fast pass system to make it so that you can use your fast pass whenever you want instead of something.
You could have gone back to the old. You could have gone back to the old system.
Yes.
Paper fast passes.
Paper fast passes. There's so many other ways you could have worked this. This is not why you did this. Nope. And again, I get why they did it. I do. I get it.
And I don't begrudge them. Like most parks, a lot of parks have, a pay to jump in front of the line. I mean, Universal does that. I get it.
Flags does
it. But you get to go on the ride whenever you want to. You don't have to schedule it. You're not limited to waiting to get your next one.
Right.
It's none of that. So yeah, I'll
be interested to see how it affects the standby line more than anything.
Right.
I will be
That's my
interested
thing.
to see, because if it makes it so that the standby line is way more accessible, then it will be worth it.
I agree. Because Fast Pass ruined the standby line. Ruined it.
Yeah.
Because you had to, because the percentage of Fast Pass people to standby people was so
disproportionate.
Yeah,
it
so
was
out
ridiculous.
of whack.
Yeah,
and it's really
stand there and watch 5-6 groups go before you could even. While you'd already waited an hour and a half.
It was 100 Fast Pass to 10 standby, is what it was. 100 Fast Pass to 10 standby, and that's ridiculous. And that's going to ruin everybody's day. So since Fast Pass has been gone, I've been a couple of times since Fast Pass has been gone. The standby lines have been moving really well. Like I have not minded standing in them because
see how it is.
Yeah, I haven't minded being in them because they move.
Oh, and we're getting, like you mentioned, the parks have been really full right now. The friend that we know in Disney, the cast member, she's saying, she works in Hollywood Studios. She's like, you're going to get to do everything. She's like, you are going to get to go to Oga's Cantina if you want. You're going to get to ride. You could ride Rise of the Resistance twice right now if you want to.
Yeah.
So so that to me right now with all of like the no fast passes, like I get it. That is nice knowing that.
Right.
Like,
well, and so people are like, so I like one of my favorite rides now is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which I love that ride. Love that ride. And I usually am not somebody that will wait like over 30 minutes for a ride. I just won't, because I go back regularly, right? I don't have to.
Sure. It's not the end all be all of your trip if you
it
don't
is
get
not,
to ride
but
railroad.
But I am very happy to wait in that line for that ride. That's how good that ride is, right? That's how you make a ride that's good. Now, I do think the throughput of that is not as high as it should be. We're going back to that idea of we don't have the throughput that we should. But it's still a great ride, and it's worth waiting in that hour line. What is this lightning lane going to do to that?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
not
yet
everybody's going to
again,
get,
it's wonder.
not everybody's going to get a pass for it.
Right. But also you have those people like, I know my family growing up, how they would have been is it's like, okay, it's an extra expense. We're going to spend it.
That's right. But there are a
We're
lot
gonna
of
spend
people
it.
that it's the only time that they can go in their whole life, and it is expensive for them just to get there.
Just to get there, right.
Just to get in the park is expensive. And so now we're charging them more money to get to experience the rides that they should get to experience anyway.
It's another form of gatekeeping. It's just another form of like.
Well, and we know, Mandy, I mean, come on. They're going for the big ticket people. They're going for the whales. They're not going for the minnows.
Right.
Yeah. Because the whales are who's spending money in the parks.
Yes. And it's so like the idea is so toxic. You're like, they don't care about like you realize that's like the meat and potatoes of who's going to your parks, right? It's these families that are like you're not going to have the passion for it. People are just going to stop coming. People are just going to become disillusioned with the park, and they're going to be like, it's lost a lot of its magic because it's become a money factory.
I agree.
Which it always has been.
Yeah.
But it was at least more covert.
Right.
It was
That's exactly right.
Less blatant.
So the thing is, so now I have found out that you can buy a Genie Plus pass each day at midnight of the day, and you can start planning your passes at 7 a.m.
When does that go into effect? I missed that.
You know what? I don't have that. I didn't put that. I didn't put that in. I don't think that they've actually have they given us a date? I'm not sure that they've actually given us a date. They're just saying it's close. It's coming.
Okay.
This fall. It'll be this fall. So anyway, well, that's the last piece of news, and I'm sorry to end on such a downer. I just thought that was such an important thing to talk about. That Disney has the problem that Disney is trying to fix is a problem that they created, and I think they're fixing it the wrong way. So. There you go. Hey, let us know what you think. You may have a totally different opinion. You may think this is great, that you're going to pay that $15 and you're going to pay however much it costs to get on each ride. Great. Let me know. Good for you. I want to hear about that, right? Or you're going to be willing to pay $250 to go to the Christmas party. Good for you. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the monorail breaking down. Let us know what you think about everything that we've talked about. This episode. We would love to hear from you. You can go to thegoofyguy.com and click on that little podcast link at the top. It'll take you right to our podcast page, and you can leave a comment under this specific podcast. You can also, while you're at thegoofyguy.com, sign up for the Goofy Guy newsletter. I know I've been a little remiss of doing it the last couple of weeks. We've had kind of some interesting weeks in the Goofy Guy studio. So that is coming back, though, because I was enjoying doing that on a weekly basis, keeping everybody informed. So you'll be able to get that. You can also find me on Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter. It's the Goofy Guy blog. On Facebook, it's the Goofy Guy. On YouTube, just look the Goofy Guy. And let's just be honest, just go to Google and look up the Goofy Guy, and it's me. I'm the one that comes up. So I'm easy to find, or you can even email me at jim@thegoofyguy.com. So, but I would love to hear what you have to say. Mandy, if they have any questions for you, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, you can DM me on Instagram, Mandeye, Mandeye.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Great. Reach out, pester her during her trip. Make her send you pictures.
Please don't. Rude. No, you know what? The thing is, I probably will totally respond. Well, if you do
totally.
If you reach out to me and are like, send me a picture of what it's like while you're online for this, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah.
Here you go. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Hey, everybody, make sure that you're wearing your masks. This Delta variant is serious business. It's getting more serious. So wear your mask. Remember, I wear my mask for you, not for me. And if you haven't already, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. It's not going to alter your DNA. It's not going to change you. Please get vaccinated. There's no excuse. except for
Zero.
selfish excuses to not get vaccinated. Because this is about everybody. This is not about you. It's not personal. It's about taking care of your loved ones and your neighbors. Also check on your loved ones, your neighbors, your friends, your family, even the neighbors that you don't really like. Make sure everybody is okay and safe and taken care of, because that's why we're here. We're here to take care of each other. Right, Mandy?
Yes, yes. Of
Yes,
course.
yes. And with that, I think that's it. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Keep an eye out for any videos that Mandy sends my way. I will definitely post them up on Facebook, and I'll probably make a compilation or something for it to go up on YouTube. So of her trips. So we'll look forward to that. You got a job now. You have a job.
I love
I've given
it.
you a job.
I love it. Give me a mission.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the mission. So with that, we will talk to you all later. Say goodbye, Mandy.
Bye.
We'll talk to you later.